Welcome to Irving High for the District 7 6A matchup tonight as the Tigers play host to the Vikings of Nimitz. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. John Nelson alongside Rob Willman. It's game number 24 on the year for the Irving Tigers, game number 17 for the Nimitz Vikings as the starting five being introduced tonight for the Irving Tigers. They come in averaging 51 points a game in district play. They won the first game by 20 a month ago over at Nimitz. And the starting five tonight, as both teams have been introduced for the Nimitz Vikings: Hopkins, Sherman, Chavarria, Ecke, and Torres. Destin Ecke leading the team in scoring, averaging 14 a contest. For the Irving Tigers, it's Union, Nelson, Garcia, Stokes, and Williams. The Tigers paced by Anthony Union, averaging 10 points and 10 boards a contest. There's the Irving Tiger huddle. 3-11 last year. They've improved the overall win total by 7. That's the assistant coach. Stephen Perry is to his left. And we're just about set to go. Second district game between these two, and a couple of big guys in the center. There's Stephen Perry in his 13th year of fixture here, a little over a decade at Irving High. Rob Willman has the seat belt fastened. It should be a good one tonight. It's all yours.
All right, it's Ecke 13 against Union number 1. Center stage, the tap, and Ecke controls it over to Hopkins. It's been a long season for Coach Joel Donaldson and these Nimitz Vikings. Had a few kids quit during the Christmas holidays who said this, is their senior year. They didn't want to give the effort. Playing shorthanded, has about 9 guys total on the team. And Ecke 13, who you see right there in the middle, he's pretty much the offense. He could use about 3 more of those to really make this a competitive team, as the Tigers will probably do, although they're kind of in a man-to-man now, it wouldn't surprise me to see him slack off in the zone just to keep Ecke away from the basket. Chavarria over in the corner to Hopkins, and Hopkins hits the baseline, the out-of-bounds line, in our first turnover of the ball game. The problem has been just scoring for the Vikings. They, on average, get outscored about 16 points a ball game. For the Tigers, the last 2 games have been really rough on them against Cedar Hill and Duncanville, and why not? They've only scored 75 total points in those 2 games combined. Nicely done is Stokes on the putback, who leads his team in assists and has the first 2 points with about 1:10 seconds gone by in quarter number 1. Nimitz and purple-blue uniforms, all solid. The Irving Tigers in all white, trimmed in black. And Hopkins tries to get to Chavarria, and it's stolen away by Stokes. Stokes, the lay-in, he's now got 4 points. And even though he leads the team in assists, he's kind of picking up where he left off the last time these 2 teams played. Had a 16 points and led the team in scoring. And the thing about Coach Perry and company, even though he's struggled, he has a lot of numbers and guys he can pull out there and substitute freely. Hopkins back out to Chavarria. Check that, that's number 21, Torres. Torres trying to hit Chavarria, finally hits Hopkins here on the wing. Hopkins guarded closely by Trey Nelson, the 5'11 junior. 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter, and it's a 4-0 lead thanks to Stokes for the Irving Tigers. Justin Sherman averages about 6 points a game, goes backcourt. Nice job defensively by Anthony Union. And the 6'1 sophomore, the future for Coach Perry. Excited about that young man as Stokes will inbound.
Last 2 possessions for Nimitz, turnovers and unable to get a shot off.
Again, maybe that's why they've been outscored by about 16 points a game. They just can't get the shot off. Irving on the attack. Union has a few inches in height over Hopkins. Spins left, kicks out. And Stokes is going to be called for the travel. The head fake and the sneakers both moved at the same time. Is 28 years in coaching right there for that man you just saw, Coach Steve Perry. Nice Tiger defense, a turnover. Union, good. Union had 19 against Duncanville. He's led this team in scoring his last 3 games. Torres over to Hopkins, left alone. Didn't want to pull the trigger. Chavarria at the point, guarded by Garcia. Head fake, Chavarria forces it, can't get it out, goes to Union. Union 2-on-1 break, has a trailer, falls down. He's going to be fouled by Hopkins, and he will go to the line.
Does the somersault. Bailey Williams he started the break. Williams picked it up off the baseline and got it ahead to Union.
He hit the back of his head as he lost control of it.
Nothing to break the fall at all.
Nope, and it wasn't like Hopkins. He didn't push him down. It just the result of the foul. So the first free throw of the night, and misses that. Get another shot. Bailey Williams, 33. Will now slide in between a couple of Nimitz players.
Rob, let's keep an eye on Destin Ecke. We thought he looked a little gimpy in the pregame warm-ups.
Yeah, he seemed to be a little ginger on the feet. Union missed both free throws. Blame the hit on the head. He's averaging about 52% from the free throw line. This is Sherman, number 5. Union going against him. Sherman goes right wing. Chavarria stops. Head fake, nicely done. Chavarria with 2 points. The 5'10 senior averages about 8 a ball game. Really the only guy is Ecke that puts in the points for this team. Going inside. Tapped around nicely by Williams. Williams got the bounce, the 6'4 senior. Worked up and on the baseline, got some good extension over Ecke. Chavarria back over to Sherman. Almost at the halfway point of quarter number 1. Pretty dominating quarter so far by the Irving Tigers. Hopkins, one of the starters. We have not seen Ecke touch the ball, have we?
No, we haven't. There it is.
He finally touches, drives, draws the foul as Williams hacks from behind. Ecke is 6'6", a junior. Had 24 in their loss against the Gophers. He's been the leading scorer in 5 out of the last 7 ball games.
Had 10 points in the first meeting against Irving. That last foul was assessed to Bailey Williams, his first.
And Ecke cans them both. And we're under 4 minutes. First quarter, Rob Willman with you along with John Nelson from the Tiger Den. Getting toward the latter stages of January, 1 month almost in the books. And Irving slows it down just a little bit. There's Stokes on the far wing. Near wing is Garcia. The bounce pass. Back out top to Nelson. Stokes, weak side. Off the glass, not there. Ecke cleans house. One and done for Irving on one trip down on that series. Ecke stops, pops, oh, pretty.
Ecke working against Bailey Williams.
Williams 6'4", Ecke 6'6", but Ecke's got some extension as well when he puts the ball down and gets some height, and a travel call against Nelson.
I think you're right, though, Rob, in watching Ecke in the pregame warm-ups. He's grown an inch since the last time. He's listed 6'6".
Right. He looks 6'7" or so,
does.
doesn't he?
Last time we saw him, he's taller.
Chavarria did not score when these two teams played before. Sherman head fake, lefty. Back iron, follows his own shot. Missed it again, tip up. Nice effort by Collins, a sophomore that's in there now. And Nelson very quickly back out, and Ecke's on him. That's a mismatch. Ecke needs to find his man. He says, I'll just tip it around and play defense. I don't care who's around me. A little stop, and the lefty, Sherman, scores his first 2 points. And just like that, the game is tied at 8, and that's the fun part of doing these rivalry games is we can throw all the stats at you and that you can digest, but it's just the fact it's a couple of schools from the city of Irving playing each other.
This is a nice 8-2 run that the Vikings are on.
And you never know who's going to show up and what player's going to contribute, and that's what adds to the fun of it. Becky blocked it, turns around, fakes it, kicks back out to Sherman. Sherman, one of the few remaining seniors on this team for Joel Donaldson. Becky tried the head fake, Williams wasn't buying. Long shot, Chavarria, 3-ball. He now with 5 points here in the first quarter. And for a guy that didn't score anything the first time around, he's making up in a hurry. Union, cross court, Stokes. Stokes and Garcia back over to Stokes, who's now on the near side wing. Stokes for 3.
That was all wrist.
He's such a nimble guy for such a big built individual that's out there. And we are tied again at 11. Fun first quarter at third. Right at the beginning, you thought maybe Irving was going to run away with this. Chavarria. Angel now with 7 points, almost at his season average just in the first quarter. And just like that, the Vikings are up by a basket. That's Nelson playing catch with Garcia. Garcia back to Stokes. They worked that last time. Union triple teamed, bad angle. Chavarria rebounds, and now Nimitz can hold it for the last shot in the first quarter. Irving has wanted to substitute for the last 2.5 minutes, and the players have done nothing but just sit there. Perry didn't want to use a timeout. You see the time left here in the first quarter. Chavarria's had the hot hand. Called him for traveling anyway. And so the first quarter will end on that note. Nimitz 13, Irving 11. Back with the second quarter in a moment. And back for the second quarter, the Vikings holding on to a 2-point lead. The last time these two teams met and the Tigers won 57-37, they pulled away in the fourth quarter. They scored 26 points, outscoring Nimitz 26-9 in that fourth quarter, and that was the difference in the ball game.
The Radfords are both in, Xavier and Romeo for the Tigers.
Weak side, Nelson. Nelson penetrates, gives to Stokes. Little head fake, did he walk? Yes. Another turnover for the Tigers. Team fouls, only 1 each. I like to see that. Letting them play here in the early go. Tigers had a real heartbreaking loss to the Gophers. Earlier this year, they were up by 15, and the Gophers, behind a pair of freshmen, forced that game into overtime. Another turnover. Forced that game into OT, and end up defeating Irving 71-62.
Eki tried to step away from Michael Brooks, and Joe Donaldson not happy, and he shouldn't be off of that last possession. Yeah. He's had a winning record against the Tigers. He's 8-3 in his career against Irving.
He's had their number, but the numbers may sway to the Tigers this year. Trey over here. Radford. Nelson. Nelson baseline. Good defense by the Tigers. Man finally works free, and a missed shot by Radford. and a whistle and a foul in the process.
Yeah, what happened? Radford clotheslined Sherman. He held him up trying to get to the ball. Team foul number 2. He collared him.
He collared him. So Xavier and Romeo both in, as John said, to start the quarter. We're still where we were when the first quarter ended. A minute and a half gone by in the second. Vikings in the dark uniforms, Irving in the white, trying to find Eki. But it looks like Perry is kind of collapsing the extra player on him every time. Stokes kind of hangs around the neighborhood. Three-pointer by Sherman.
Second three-pointer for the Vikings. They trail early 6-0, now lead by 5.
If you hit the outside shots, that'll force the defense to pull out and give your big man more room to roam underneath. Double team there. I don't even know why he forced the shot, as Brooks had Eki bearing down and really didn't have a place to put up a shot. Forced it, missed it. Vikings back with it, a 5-point lead. And Chavarria almost lost that one out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Radford. Williams comes back in. Garcia comes back in for the Tigers. Garcia had 8 against Duncanville, 14 the last time these two teams played. And another three-pointer. This is Chavarria. The man's making about everything he puts up.
Yeah, couldn't ask for a better start. An 8-point lead now.
Ball stolen away. Sherman. And Sherman almost loses it right back. Tries to keep it in play. Chavarria is there. Dipsy-do and almost gets that one to fall. The bench going crazy. What's left of it on the Nimitz side. They've only got 3 left suited up. 8 total. Man, if this would have gone in, you'd have seen the Nimitz fans going crazy.
Team foul number 3, and the first assessed to Romeo Radford, number 11.
Yeah, he forced the issue. Chavarria, nothing but net. And Union will come back in. Again, Union with just 2 points so far in this game.
He defeated him, the Rock. He comes in averaging 10 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, and again, you know, unless it's something about Nimitz, he only had 6 last time they played. So a pretty flawless first half for Chavarria and company as a 10-point lead now for Nimitz. The question is, can they hold it? And can Irving find the right combination? Eki makes it tough to go inside. So you either have to block out their big man and work the weak side. A whistle and a turnover.
That one on Angel Garcia. They haven't scored yet here in the second quarter, and Joe Donaldson looking around.
Well, they had a timeout call.
Was it a timeout? I thought it might have been on Garcia stepping on the line.
I looked first, I thought maybe it was a turnover. Well, it was, but then very quickly, Coach Perry, who's seen his team fall behind by 10, trying to work the board on the sideline to come up with some plays that will work for him. I still think if they can get the outside shooting to work and open things up. Right now, Nimitz is getting great production from their senior, number 11, Chavarria, who has hit 2 threes, 12 points already for a guy that averages about 8. All right, Stokes, who had a really good game last time out and started strong for Irving, still in the lineup. Garcia, Radford. Union is now up against Eki with Williams on the weak side. Garcia baseline, kind of hangs around but loses control. Right back though to Irving. Nicely done by Radford. Radford's first 2 of the ball game. And nice hustle by Romeo to stay with it, not get back really too far defensively after the miss and get the ball back and score.
First 2 points in this quarter for the Tigers.
Chavaria left open again. The rebound and the points.
In one motion, that's Collins, the sophomore. Myron Collins.
Stokes open. Fakes outside. They're going to call travel. Yes, they do. Another turnover by the Tigers in the first half. Man, they have really slowed themselves down by just turning the basketball over.
Trey Nelson back in at a guard. Comes in averaging 8 points.
Stokes will sit down, and he'll sit down right between the coaches and to the right of Coach Perry. Perry probably seeing what the young man is doing wrong and using the coaching moment, but right now the Tigers just looking for a spark offensively, and the Vikings can do no wrong. Again, this is a Viking team that has not been able to score a lot of points. A drifter missed by Sherman, and I believe he's going to be called for the foul, lifting up and hitting Union in the process. Boy, that was a tough shot if Sherman would have made that.
Team foul number 2. Irving looks tight. Don't you think they look a little
tight? They do. They started off really strong, but again, this is a team that has lost about 3 or so in a row. Coming off a couple of tough teams, and they started off, looks like they had found their rhythm. Union, back iron shot. Sherman rebounds. And I think a team like Nimitz, who comes in with an 8-game losing streak, those are the teams you got to really fear because they have nothing to fear. They're just going to go out there and let her rip. Bounce pass. In the corner over to Collins. Collins back out. They're stolen away by Union. Missed the breakaway. Nelson was there. He will be fouled, and another coaching moment on why you follow your teammate down the court.
Exactly. It was Sherman who had his pocket picked as Union reached over the top, started the break, and then Trey Nelson will have to make up these 2 shots from the free throw line. Hitting 78% of his free throws.
You know, even the crowd hasn't had an opportunity really for Irving to explode. The student body has pretty much spent the entire first half just talking amongst themselves because they haven't had anything really to cheer about. Looking for that spark to bring the fans back into it. That's what I like the Tiger Den so much about, because it's close. It's the smallest gym, of course the oldest in Irving School District, and I like the intimacy of it. Stolen away, Radford. Romeo waits, misses. Williams with the follow-up.
Bailey Williams at 6'4". Here's
stolen by Union.
Oh, he was out of bounds.
Romeo keeps control. Get back to Williams. Williams with the spin and the hoop.
A steal and a basket and one. Bailey Williams with his 6th point. Waiting, turning, and boy, it's a nice pass and a mismatch height advantage-wise right there. The tight end on the football season.
Nifty move. In and out. Well, they've cut it to 4 at the 2-minute mark of the second quarter.
That's a 14 foul.
Yeah, not a lot by both, so nobody really in foul trouble yet. Both coaches with their full assortment of timeouts to use if they want to. Collins, Chavaria, and he is fouled by Romeo Radford. 2 Radfords, 2 Stevensons. Both Stevensons are DJs. We have yet to see either one of those in.
That's a tough call, Rob, on Radford. I mean, you're not Superman. You can't stop in midair. You're both going for the ball. I don't like that call. But that's just
well, you don't see Coach Perry really getting into the face of his young player either because of it, so
no.
Pretty much appreciate the hustle as well. Inbound to Collins. Again, you see the time on your clock. Nimitz with the ball and the lead. And a 5-second violation. Oh, we've seen a lot of those calls this year.
Man, we have. As soon as he came in, Devin Johnson, he checks in and now gives it up. Well, they missed the call down here on Union. He was out of bounds 2 possessions ago.
Nelson forced a shot because of Ecke. Bodies fly. Garcia going to draw the foul. Might have took a hit to the head.
He did, then Ecke hit his tailbone on the way down.
Garcia, the 5'11" senior. First of all, Nelson missed his shot, then Ecke falls over Nelson. And Garcia rattles that home, his first point of the ball game. He had 8 against Duncanville. Really had a good game with 14 against Nimitz in the first go. 3 points, Viking lead. Almost to the half. Ecke has been really quiet. They haven't gotten to him. There, he forces the issue and gets the foul and the hoop. It's almost like you forgot about him, or the Tigers did a really good job of keeping him bottled up. You see there, Stokes tried to pick him up on the weak side. He goes right past Bailey Williams, and when he went past Bailey, even Trey Nelson came over to try to provide support on the weak side. So in that whole series, as Ecke hits his 3rd free throw of the ball game, there were 3 Tigers involved in trying to stop Destin Ecke inside.
That's using your height and getting that first jump step around Williams.
Nelson, first field goal of the ball game, and use a drive down the paint to get it.
Sometimes it's the wrapping, not the package. And wasn't the best looking shot from Nelson, but it goes.
Ecke way out, providing some screens for his guard play. There's Torres, 21, Chavarria. Chavarria has it picked by Stokes. Stokes against Ecke. This will be fun. Union, Stokes forced the shot, but gets the foul. Very tough for the Tigers to get any good look against Ecke. He was like a one-man defensive unit in the paint.
It's a tough battle inside. That is the 6th team foul, and Kobe Stokes hitting a shade over 50% at the stripe for a pair.
Had 7 early, then he got quiet. Perry using a lot of players off his bench. Donaldson sticking with about 6 maybe 7 core players. Stokes made them both look easy. Good follow through. Clock not moving. Now it's moving.
Stuck again. It's not moving at all. Timeout to adjust the clock here. You know, despite their record, Rob, Irving at 1-7, their defense, they're right about in the middle of the pack of the district. They're giving up 56 a game, and that's not bad. That's not terrible for a 1-7 team.
Nope, just putting points on the board. But, you know, you play the Cedar Hills and the Duncanvilles of the world. They're going to make your shots look bad. They're going to have a lot of Eckes out there. Chavarria, speak of Ecke. Oh, nice little dump off. Missed. Garcia kept it alive. He touched it last.
Yeah, but you got to make that shot. It's a perfect feed from Ecke.
4 seconds left. Plenty of time to get the shot off. But first of all, Micah Brooks comes in for Irving. And Aranda will set down number 5. He was out there for just about a minute. It's a little bit bigger lineup now. Beefier lineup. Garcia missed it at the buzzer. This will not count. And we have finished a half of basketball. Nimitz still leading, and still leading by 2. 26-24 at the break. Highlight scores and the 3rd quarter tip-off when we come back.
Getting ready for half number 2 here at Irving High. The Irving Tigers jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Then the Vikings on a nice 11-2 run, thanks in most part to their 5'10 senior forward Angel Chavera. Here's a couple of highlights from Chavera. He made 2 3-pointers. That's the first one. Goes inside, a little bit of a stumble, but able to finish off the shot. And then the nice handoff from Eki, and Chavarria with 2 of his 12 points on the Tigers side. Nice cross-court pass, wide open, Kobe Stokes as he drains the 3. That's 3 of his 9 points. And Williams with a spin move inside off of a nice pass, never broke stride. And then Nelson throws one up to score 2 of his 4 points. In the first half, Angel Chavera with a dozen points. Eric Alex next tie with 7, your 2 leading scorers. Stokes and Williams accounting for 15 of the 24 points. Each team scoring 13 in that second quarter. It's going to come down to maybe who has it last. 26-24, the Vikings own the lead. And here's Rob.
All right, John, thank you very much. Nimitz will get the ball first. They will inbound. And Hopkins getting the start just like the game started. Garcia, Chavarria, Eki, and Sherman. Ball almost stolen away by Union, but the Vikings will keep possession. We did not see Hopkins much, the point guard, number 2, in the first half. He goes baseline, and it's blocked from behind. And we really didn't see Nelson coming. And Nelson with a clean block out of bounds.
Little mismatch. Hopkins at 5'7", and then Nelson got all of him as it goes out of bounds. As you said, no foul. Boy, if there was ever a tight man-to-man defense, the Tigers are showing it here to begin the second half.
Chavarria misses the wide-open 3. You know, you can't stay hot the entire game. Nelson, a little floater.
Well, maybe he's got that shot down. Maybe that looks a little better now.
Yep, maybe that's just part of his repertoire. Double team. Chavarria breaks the press easily.
Yeah, but this is good defense here.
Hopkins loses it out of bounds off his leg. Bailey Williams there to pester him a little bit, and he lost sight, dribbled it off his leg, and the Tigers get the ball back. We're tied, which is where we started from. Stokes, power move, offensive board goes off the head of Eki. Chavarria is pushed out of bounds. Union going to be called for the foul, and it will be Viking possession.
Tumbled out of bounds hard, but is okay.
That was the right call. Vikings trying to inbound. Chavarria finds Justin Sherman free, and he gets across the timeline. Past Union, bounce pass. Hopkins by himself for 3, not even close. Williams and Eki fighting for it, and it's going to go by the way of Irving. And a foul perhaps, maybe against Eki?
I think it is. That's the first team foul here in the second half.
Well, obviously, number 13 is a guy you do not want to get in foul trouble if you're Nimitz High School. Trey Nelson across the timeline. Nimitz just laying back a little bit, taking life easy defensively. Williams comes out on the point. Stokes around over to Nelson, who works baseline. Double team, kicks it in the corner. Wide open Garcia, back iron. Sherman rebounds, he dribbles, so he has to pick it up, give it back to Chavarria, and then back to Nelson, or to Sherman, who takes his time across the timeline. We played a couple of minutes in quarter number 3. Glad you could be with us here on ICTN as we're all tied up at 26 apiece. Stolen away. Williams started it. Stokes will try to finish. Union, offensive boards. Garcia, a little hook shot. He's fouled in the process. Stokes thought he was fouled even before that play.
Chavarria may have been hit above the nose. It all started with a bad pass that was behind Eki. And then here's the breakaway by Stokes, the hard contact. And there to pick it up is Union as he throws it back in play. And the foul on Angel Garcia.
Garcia with just 1 point, 1 out of 2 from the line. Much better looking shot here in the second quarter. And coming in is Devin Johnson, number 22.
Tigers now 6 of 10 from the line tonight.
Donaldson with not a lot of choices for players to come off the bench, just 3. And the first time we've seen Johnson tonight, that second end of the free throw missed. And Johnson will work against Union. Johnson hit the out of bounds line. Union with the clap saying good deal. I forced the issue, and very quickly now Collins will come in, and Johnson will have to sit down after the turnover.
One sophomore in for another sophomore. They have one freshman on this varsity squad.
Short leash by Donaldson. Make a mistake, sit down. Stokes. Williams, who likes to work the corner. Far side Trey, farther Trey, missed. So a one and done opportunity for the Tigers as Nimitz tries to regain this lead, and Chavaria was pushed down after the pass to Collins, and the foul's going to be called against Irving, number 21, which is Angel Garcia. Ecky against Williams. Reverse layup is missed. Williams there to clean the board. Stokes behind his back. He's hit by Collins. It would be tough to try to set up and draw a charge against Stokes coming from one end of the court to the other.
You'll see Collins just dip right in front and upset the timing and also the footwork of Kobe Stokes. Third team foul assist to the Vikings.
Stokes did a really good job of selling it, though.
Yeah.
Good look on his face. Garcia for 3. Union. He missed. 2 shots, 2 misses.
And he caught it underneath, just wide open shot.
Sometimes, John, you're just too open, right? I can't believe I'm this close. Chavaria directing traffic with Garcia on him. Out up top. Stokes on Torres. They kick it out in the corner. Long shot. Good by Sherman. His second three-pointer. And the Vikings
team's fourth.
Have regained the lead halfway through the third quarter. You know, it's a close game. It's kind of a back and forth ebb and flow game, but at the same time, no one is really, maybe Irving had one little stretch there, John, where it got exciting and they put a little comeback together, but by and large, this has been just kind of a slow, deliberate pace game.
Like we say, who has it last may end up winning.
Garcia stops and pops, but he will draw the foul in the paint. That'll be the 4th team foul assessed against Nimitz. Substitution, Garcia out, and Romeo Radford in. Romeo had some pretty productive minutes late in the second quarter. I keep waiting for Union just to catch fire, either driving the ball, hitting a jump shot. He's open on the weak side, but he couldn't get the rebound over the back of Ecky as Nelson charged and came up empty.
Ecky had the inside position and unable to hold on to it, so the Tigers with a third chance here.
Union off the glass misses. Torres rebounds. Torres working against Stokes. Somebody's open. Well, it's Union that's wide open. Wow. Well, I don't know if he was trying to slam that or not.
Oh, no.
But he made it.
He changed his shot.
He did. He changed his mind. But it went in. It went off the glass, and we're tied again at 29. Sherman again. They're going to call it for walking. Officials are really keeping an eye on that.
Try to do too much in the corner on Romeo Radford.
So the Tigers will be a little deliberate. They got Williams out on the point. Right at the free throw line, high post. Now they want to, Nelson wanted to pick to open some room. Romeo fakes it. Another floater and in by Nelson. Man, he's making a living right about the free throw line, pulling up just a few feet from the basket and scoring. Irving back up by 2. Another lefty in the corner by Sherman, missed. Ecke, whoa, he went over everybody to grab that. Missed the putback, gets his own rebound, and Williams going to be called for the foul.
He hacked him. That's the 5th team foul. And we'll see the 6'6" junior at the line. There's the three-point attempt, and then Ecke with a rebound. Williams, he'll miss, and then another chance over Williams, and a hard slap on the right hand. No question.
You know, for Ecke, that's the first time I think I've really seen him take charge in the paint.
You mean he's been Sam Perkins up to this point? Now suddenly the Bulldog comes out in him?
Yeah. Well, there's a blast from the past.
Sleepy-eyed Sam Perkins.
From North Carolina. Irving up by a point. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Trey has it blocked by Ecke from behind.
Here's the sequence as Nelson and Union right there, and all for the Vikings.
Comes out to Stokes and then back to Nelson. Don't forget Nelson likes to drive in the paint. Will they clear it out for him? Stokes has been awfully quiet himself.
Brooks is in there.
Radford. Radford stops inside and blocked away as Brooks had a shot there on the baseline. Nice defensive play by the Vikings. And a timeout by Donaldson with 1:14 to go in the third as he has the basketball and down by 1. But
just a hard battle as Ecke goes over the top. Boy, he just reaches up almost rim high.
Did he touch it or just
Boy, it's
alter
close.
the shot maybe?
Very close. It was announced this week that the UIL girls and boys basketball state tournament will stay in San Antonio's Alamo Dome through 2019. So they've got it down there for the next 3 years. DeSoto, Lancaster, and Lincoln won the state titles last year on the boys' side. Argyle won back-to-back titles. Duncanville also a winner last year. But Rob is going to stay there, having moved from the Frank Irwin Center. And good venue. Have no problem at all.
It seems so huge, so big, and I know they curtain off a lot of that. But I think Austin is looking for a change themselves.
I think you're right. Now there's Romeo Radford. He had a couple of points. 6 different Tigers now accounting for the 31 points.
Stolen again by Union. And a layup. Defensively, the Tigers have turned it up a notch. Torres looking for Ecke behind the back and almost stolen by Union again.
Del Pedro Torres went behind the back. That started the sequence, goes out of bounds, and now Hopkins is going to come in. Hopkins replaces Torres, guard.
Here he gets that out of bounds in time. Collins to Ecke. Ecke has it slapped from behind by Brooks. I believe that maybe Coach Perry has brought Brooks in to try to stabilize defensively the play against Ecke. Again, Ecke has about a good 4 or 5 inches in height on Brooks.
That's a third foul on Romeo Radford.
Look at Eki by himself underneath the basket, wanting a shot. And that's how you get back in the ball game, folks. I mean, you could see that inbound play with Eki and Brooks just soloed, and Chavarria caught him. There was no weak side or backside help for Brooks, and that's a mismatch.
He got the perfect pass from Chavarria. It was high enough and right into the liking of Eki.
Waiting for Garcia to come in. Radford will sit down, and Garcia will check in. Let's see if the Tigers look to end this quarter on a final shot or not. Hopkins against Nelson. That's an interesting matchup there to your right of your screen. Hopkins gives up a few inches in height as well. Stokes has Eki on him, and Eki will not commit and come way out. He'll stay right there in the middle of your screen. He's more like at the free throw line. If they're trying to get him to commit, he's not going to do it. Nelson, travel call. What are we at, about 6 or 7 of those calls tonight?
We got a handful plus.
We need to add a travel graphic.
Little basketball with a walk on it.
Chavarria's got about a second.
Oh, he's fouled.
Wow. A 3-shot foul. Oh, Coach Perry shaking his head on the sideline, and Chavarria will go to the line to shoot 3. He's got to make one to give his team the lead at the break, but he'll get 3 chances. He's made his first 2 tonight.
It came at the buzzer. It's a second foul assessed to Garcia.
Oh, this is a silly foul, if it is. City hit his hand. Second shot. 1 out of 2. 3 out of 4 so far tonight. But this is the only one that counts. He'll have his team up by either 1 or 2. It'll be 2. So we finished 3, headed for 4. Our score, Nimitz 35, Irving 33. Back with the final quarter in a moment. One quarter to go. Irving will have possession to start the 4th, and Stokes hits a 3-pointer, giving the Tigers the lead 36-35. What a way to start the 4th quarter.
His second 3.
Collins keeps it alive. Sherman over to Hopkins. Hopkins bounce pass. Chavarria started hot. Cooled off a little bit here in the second half. In fact, those free throws were his only points in the second half. And loose ball foul?
Well, a foul was called.
Someone, it looks like maybe Brooks, away from the action.
Yeah, it is on Micah Brooks.
Yeah, he and Eki were going at it. Look to the right of your screen.
Well, that's a 7. That is the 7th team foul. The Vikings have a couple to give. Brooks comes out.
So that'll put Nimitz on the line for the remainder. Eki hits the first. And the second. Eki now with, 13 points. 13 points in the ball game. A lot of those coming from the free throw line.
Well, they've only missed 2 free throws tonight.
The average is 14. I think Irving's done a pretty good job keeping him in check. This is Stokes just to the right up at the point. Nelson moves right, kicks it. In the corner, Union misses the three. Rebound Sherman over to Hopkins, who almost didn't see that coming. Ecky losing control, double team, someone's free. Collins missed the shot, Union rebounds. Union with great extension. No look to Williams. Williams with 8, his first bucket in the second half. Tigers back by 1 in this back and forth crosstown rival game on ICTN. Fourth quarter. Who's going to take it home? Is it a charge?
Yep.
Charge indeed, as Garcia held his ground. And Sherman called for the foul. Watch 21 coming to your screen right here.
And Garcia, yeah, that's a good call. Leaned into him. Now, this is the fourth quarter in this first meeting that the Tigers exploded as they erupted for 26 points in that first game a month ago.
Stokes, power move, left-handed. That is a blocking foul against Collins. And Stokes will go to the line.
That is the 6th team foul, the second on Myron Collins, the sophomore.
Stokes went to the line twice in the first half, made them both. Misses that. Stokes on the year, about a 53% free throw shooter. Kind of unsung there. He leads the team in assists with nearly 4 a ball game. Makes a second. And the home team up by 2, under 6 minutes to go. Chavaria wisely calls time. Why not? He had 4. Now they've got 3. Coach Perry talking to his guys. The district race, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings again just to kind of show you how things fall in place. Now, you know, last year DeSoto won it all. But this year, they're out there fighting for that 4th spot. They've got it pretty much secure. Them and the Warriors are 5-3. Duncanville 7-1, and Cedar Hill a perfect 8-0. Cedar Hill is 16-2 overall, and their point differential of winning. Cedar Hill riding a 15-game winning streak. Both them and Duncanville score a lot of points. So do the Warriors. That's the one thing the Eagles of DeSoto have lacked this year. Just not scoring good, but just not like they did last year on their way to a state championship. So after the timeout, as Nimitz was forced to call time with really good defense by Irving, and Chavaria has Xavier Radford, who just checked in, to try to hassle him a little bit, and a foul, a charging foul against Chavaria.
Yeah, he's working on Xavier Radford. Not much of a push-off. That's the 6th. No, it's the 7th. Beg your pardon. Does not result in a 1-1, but there's the 7th team foul. The contact right there. Do you see anything?
I think maybe because he put his elbow, kind of did the move with the elbow. Perhaps that drew the attention. Coach Perry says, hey, don't I get a free throw? 17 fouls. 5:30 left in this game. A driving shot by Union missed. Chavaria worked around Stokes, has 3 guys in his face, tried to draw the foul against Stokes. He goes, hey, it worked against me. How about working for me? 2-point Tiger lead. And a foul across the hand of Ecky. And that'll bring it back the other way.
On Union, his 2nd.
Coach Donaldson sporting the sweater. It's like a golfer sweater with the little nice little diamonds on the front. These coaches dress nicely, and sometimes I wonder in these gyms, it's so hot. They work up a sweat coaching the sidelines. Ecky, he doesn't waste a lot of time when he shoots his free throw. He's only missed 2 tonight out of about 10. He has brought his team within 1 with under 5 minutes to go in the game. And a 5-second call against Stokes.
Well, he looks over at head coach Stephen Perry and spreads both of his hands.
I don't think the kids are used to these 5-second calls. You know, in the old days, you could just dribble. If no one's out there,
Yeah.
I didn't see a defender close enough to, but they're calling it close. You know, remember how the year started? As Hopkins drives for 2.
Woo. Found an opening in the sky.
Remember the first game we did and they called it so close, the hand check? They wouldn't allow the hand check. I mean, you couldn't hardly breathe on the player. It was that Pinkston game, and without calling a foul. Well, they've adapted. Either the players have adapted or the officials have changed up a bit. We don't see that as much, but we do see the 5-second call.
Yeah, Pinkston winning by 9.
Nelson with a nice sweet jumper. And a foul against Union away from the play, or perhaps just a warning of delay.
Well, that gives Trey double figures now with 10. Is that right? Yeah, it does 10 points.
Yes. Oh, wide open is Eki.
No doubter.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody could stop Eki. Free like that against the glass. You just count your losses and move on. Stokes spins. That's going to be a travel.
Boy, he's really frustrated. Stokes, again, looking over the head coach, Stephen Perry.
So we're halfway through the final stanza. This game has been close at the end of every quarter. Irving started out, looked like they were going to run away with this thing, but then Nimitz got their sea legs and came back to make a game of it. It's been a game ever since. Eki backing in on Williams, and they're going to call Williams for the push.
Boy,
trying to keep Eki in check.
Barely touched him.
Stokes was also over there to provide weak side help. Coach Perry a little frustrated, and Eki, let's see how long it takes him to shoot once he gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he doesn't dribble it.
Watch how fast. 1,001, 1,002. Boom. Hey, it works for the young man.
No dribble, just take it and shoot it.
You bet. It works for him.
18 points.
Vikings are up by 3. Stokes. This time he draws the foul.
That time he's happy. He got the benefit. And a couple of shots. That's the 8th team foul, and it's a 3rd on Hopkins. Davian Hopkins saddled now with 3.
And Stokes, this is the front end of that. He's been to the line 6 times tonight, but man, the real winner in the free throw derby has been Eki. He's 10 out of 12 from the free throw line. Stokes makes the 2nd. Sub comes in, and Romeo Radford will check in, and Garcia will set down, number 21 for Irving. Tigers down by 2, offering a little resistance in the backcourt. Nothing full court, nothing full scale. Chavarria looks over toward the bench, looks for the call. Moves right inside, wide open with Sherman. No look over to Eki. Go. That was a nice play. Touched 3 players, finally into the hands of their leading scorer. Stokes drives, misses, gets it back thanks to good hustle by Radford, number 11, to keep it in play. And Stokes will go back to the free throw line, and that's one of those things you won't read about or see show up in the stat page, but Romeo Radford kept the ball in play, John, and enabled Stokes to get it back.
He did, and Stokes got what he wanted the first drive, missed it. Now a chance to make him from the 15-foot set shot area. The easiest shot in sports, a 15-foot set shot.
Unless it's for a lot of money and you're not a pro. And a full timeout is called at almost the 3-minute mark. 3 minutes and a penny in this ball game with Nimitz nursing a 2-point lead. We haven't seen a lot of hot outside shooting per se. We saw Chavaria in the early go. He couldn't miss his first 4 shots, and then he cooled off. And we haven't really seen anybody else, especially in the second half, John, really just take charge and get into a rhythm with the jump shot. It's been pretty much an inside game with Eki, the guy that Nimitz has been trying to get to. It's kind of been enjoyable to watch how Irving has tried to stop him.
Well, I'm looking at the board, the personal fouls, and you could work on Sherman if he's out there. He's got 4, and Union has 3 for the Tigers. Each team has now scored 11 points in this 4th quarter. The total number of fouls for the Tigers, 10, and the Vikings have 9, so Irving would be in the double bonus on the next Nimitz foul.
And they have it up on the board, too. Collins to Chavaria, who wants Hopkins to come around and help him out, basically to just draw the attention of the Tigers away from him. Let's see what the Tigers do defensively. Do they stay? They do. Stay in the man-to-man. Watch to the right of your screen. Bailey Williams, 33, and Eki, number 13. Eki's just coming out basically at a high post. There's 2 players left side, diverting all the attention away, trying to free someone up, and stolen away by Union again. Union forced a shot, but he draws the foul as Sherman commits the foul, and Union will go to the line. That's the 5th on Sherman, and he should be gone. Let's see. Hopkins,
it is.
The bounce pass, and Union anticipating the play, and Sherman reaches in, and he will set down. So Sherman finishes the night with 8 points. And remember, Coach Donaldson doesn't have a lot of players to choose from. He's got a couple of sophomores on the bench. He goes with the senior starter, Pedro Torres, who's yet to score but will have to be called upon to display good, solid defense. Union missed that one badly. He hasn't hit a free throw tonight. And this is a guy that came in hitting 31 out of 54 shots from the free throw line, and leads the team in rebounding with 10 a game. He found the magic there. A 1-point game. It's getting down to crunch time here, to where if Nimitz has the lead, will they try to take the air out of the clock? What coach and what team with the lead will be the first to do that? That's Torres. Bounce pass and stolen by Nelson. Stokes, no look. Romeo Radford missed. Union fights for the rebound, and we've got a jump ball. Union holding the back of his head. The possession arrow points in favor of Nimitz. And that transition, John, is the first time I've heard the Irving crowd get into the game.
Really something to cheer about, no question. Yeah, you're right, Rob. That went off with the chest of Stokes, and he was really never able to recover to turn and get a shot off. He gets a nice pass, and then Union just comes up short.
Well, he was triple teamed pretty much as soon as he came down with the basketball. Now, Torres is back on the bench, and a sophomore, Devin Johnson, is in. A collision right on the baseline, and we're going to go the other way.
2 shots.
And Hopkins will go to the line.
The double bonus in effect. Now Hopkins hasn't taken a free throw tonight. You know, that last foul, Rob, on Sherman, it wasn't by design. It all started with a pickoff, the interception, and then Sherman got into the mix and was playing with 4 fouls, and he's out. You're going to have some countering matchups here with the bench coming into effect, no question, here in the last Minute 56.
There was a question on whether or not it was Hopkins that should go to the line. Coach Perry was trying to point to some of the younger players for Nimitz and say it's their turn. Hopkins misses the first. Now everything gets magnified from here on. With under 2 minutes to go in a 1-point game, every shot is what if. And Hopkins, the 5'7" junior, makes it a 2-point game. And how will Irving respond offensively? Again, they really haven't had one guy really come out with the hot hand. Inside, try to go to Radford, and Chavarria was there anticipating the pass. Nicely done defensively. Even though his scoring has fallen off in the second half, defensively still making some plays.
Don't need a 3, just a 2 would make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, this is very important for the Tigers defensively. Chavarria, double dribble.
Boy, got around one and then turned it over. Man.
Donaldson questioning the call. You're not going to change the mind of the official. Watch here. Right, oh yeah, see, both hands were on it before he picked it up. That was the problem.
Timeout, Tigers.
Donaldson's going to ask for an explanation from one of the officials.
14 points tonight for Chavarria. You look at the board, Rob, they don't have Stokes up there. I mean,
no,
he's got at least 4 fouls,
right,
but he's not on there.
Is that by design? So the other team, they keep up with that.
I know that Romeo's got 4 fouls, Romeo Radford.
Well, Irving won the first one, 57-37. Nimitz has won 8 of the last 11. They swept them the last couple of years. Well, not quite. 2 years ago, Irving split, but then Nimitz, for 3 years in a row after that, took the series. We'll see these same Tigers and MacArthur next week on ICTN. We'll have a doubleheader for you. The girls first, and Susie learning how tough it is to play in this district, but still right in the thick of things. Not so for the boys. They've had it rough this year, but they told us before the season started, hey, give us another year. We're young.
They were regional champs back in '09. Won just 3 games in district last year. Here we go.
Irving down by 2, but with the ball. What will they do after the timeout? Romeo Radford is still in there. Union is in there. Try to go inside to Stokes, stolen away. Hopkins very wisely pulls back, and Nelson will commit the personal foul.
Got him in the forehead.
Well, that's how you foul him, I guess.
He looks a little woozy.
So Hopkins, who made 1 out of 2 his last attempt, if he makes just 1, it's a 1-possession game. But if he makes them both, it goes to 2 possession. Plenty of time in basketball. And he missed it. But he can still make it difficult on Irving by sinking this free throw and making it a 3-point differential, because the Tigers tonight just 2 3-pointers, both by Stokes. Well, it worked out well for the Tigers. Crowd finally getting into this one on both sides of the court with under a minute to go. Nelson between the legs, back to Stokes in the corner. Union. Stokes has some height on Hopkins, and we've got a timeout. Steve Perry wants a full timeout to talk this one over. Both teams in the double bonus. Irving with at least 1 timeout left. Coach Donaldson has 3, I think, in his back pocket if he wants to use this. This 44 seconds could last minutes.
Yeah.
If you wanted.
We don't want it.
Look at the series, John. It's Nimitz has done a pretty good job the last few years.
Yeah, they've won 8 of the last 11. A sweep, a split, a sweep, a split. Tigers came in averaging 51, scored 57 in the first go around, but a different story here in the second meeting.
Well, if you're Coach Perry, you've got to design something. If you're going to go inside, you've got to take in consideration Ecke's there just plugging up the middle.
Or do you go with Union on the outside? Union was set up in the left corner.
You know what I would do? I would go back to Trey Nelson and his little runners in the paint. He seemed to have worked well. He seems to have that little zone. Don't force it outside the perimeter. Just try to get Ecke out of the way somehow.
Yeah.
And then just try to run up to about the free throw line with your little runner that seemed to be so successful.
Ecke's only got 1 foul.
Yeah, he's sitting in the driver's seat foul-wise. Okay, Union. Radford. Garcia. Time winding down. We're under 30 seconds. Try to get it to Radford, and it's knocked away. Tigers will have to foul. Chavarria lost control. They get it back in, stolen away to Stokes. And Stokes is fouled.
An errant pass, a turnover, and the Tigers are going to benefit from this. Now here's the errant pass. It was tipped, and Ecke easy handoff to Chavarria. Then he's in trouble. The reach around by Stokes, bats it loose, stays in play, and then Stokes goes up and is fouled, and that is the 4th assessed to Davian Hopkins. His 4th foul. It'll send the Tigers to the line. Timeout taken by Nimitz.
Yeah, this is a good timeout by Coach Donaldson. With 16 seconds to go, you've got Stokes, who is a 53% free throw shooter. By and large, I mean, most of the Tiger players are about a 50-50 free throw guy, and it's, you know, when it comes down to crunch time, you'd like to see that about a 70% free throw shooter up there.
And he's 6 of 8 tonight from the line.
So he's done well. He's hit his last 3, but he comes up to a point now with 16 seconds to go. He's got to make them both.
Much like Hopkins did at the other end about a minute ago. He missed them both.
Right.
Hey, we can spread the blame around there. We can get everybody covered.
And we talked about it, so it's our fault that, you know, some of them missed it. And all right. Well, first of all, it comes to Stokes. He's got to make them both. If he doesn't make them both, then he's got to foul immediately. Makes them both, then you got to go back and play D because you don't want to put the potential game winner on the line. But it all starts right here.
Okay, if he makes a second, do the Vikings call another timeout?
Sure, why not? Maybe wait till you get to half court.
Right.
Because Donaldson's up already.
Pretty good one here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he rattled it home. Well, they didn't wait to get to half court to call the time. So another timeout called, a full timeout by Donaldson with 16 seconds to go. About another, one timeout per side. So Nimitz has a time, Perry has a timeout, and there's only 16 seconds left on the clock, which we know is an eternity.
It was 35-33 heading into this quarter.
I can't remember if it was last year or the year before Nimitz won it at the last second on a layup, a teardrop, a dropper over the hoop as time expired. We kind of set up the same situation here. Just different players.
Yeah, it was, let's see, 46-34 last year. Maybe a couple of years ago, 51-48, Nimitz won it by 3.
2012, 2013, Nimitz won 47-46. Might have been the game that I was thinking about. You know how time flies, but I believe that was the game that Nimitz won on a last-second shot, and it was just on a drive from one end of the court to the other.
Boy,
so let's see who's out there. We've got Union, Williams, Nelson, Stokes, Radford. And Nimitz has a sophomore, Johnson, out there. Chavarria on Radford. Chavarria. And a jump ball, possession Irving, if it's a jump ball, but only 2 seconds to go. If it's Irving's possession, it is. I thought maybe they would try to go to Ecke inside.
They got it into the hands of Chavarria. He has the shot, just came up short. And now a timeout, and not much time at all. I mean, there's 2 seconds you can catch, but who do you get free at midcourt?
That was a nice hustle job by the sophomore Devin Johnson.
Yeah.
Who kept Union from really getting the ball and trying to chunk it down court. You know, it is a home clock, John.
Well,
so is it really 3 seconds?
We've had some clock issues tonight. I mean, nothing that really determined a huge outcome. But the objective here you just don't foul anybody. Just play back, and they put everybody at midcourt except for Ecke, who will be on the ball.
Yeah, that's always smart. You put the tallest player, guard the inbound player to force him to throw it even higher. You got Williams over here, the far left, all by himself. Chavarria is kind of playing out somewhat. But Romeo Radford would have to really chunk it a long way to get to Bailey. And then Radford throws it away.
Nobody touched it.
Which means the clock doesn't go off. There's 2 seconds left. Donaldson wants time. He'll use the last one on the clock, the last one he has. And now Nimitz has an opportunity to set up a play. And Radford.
Just a bounce pass in the direction I thought to
Stokes.
Yeah. Nobody, it just goes out of bounds. Not a good inbounds pass, or Stokes wasn't where he was supposed to be.
All right, so look, hear me out. You have Ecke post up low and just throw it high. He can out jump everybody, and he can try to tip it in. He's the tallest player out there.
Boy, what a huge advantage
So
here.
what happens, Irving, they try to double, triple team him. Well, they could foul him in the process.
Probably would anyway.
Yeah. He's made 10 out of 12 free throws. All he needs is 1. I was surprised they went with Chavarria in the first place, but here's Ecke. He's at a high post now. You just got to inbound to him now. Irving, look at Irving. They're double teaming him. Ecke's right at the free throw line. There's 2 guys on him. 2 guys front and back. That's the call. I'm telling you, that is short. We go to overtime. Irving did a really good job on Ecke. They were on each side of him. Nimitz got an open shot. I mean, if you're going to double team Ecke, somebody's free. Somebody out there is loose. And we'll go to overtime right after this. Stay with us. Nimitz had a shot to win this one, but it was tipped at the point of takeoff. Watch it right there, left of your screen. Nice job by Union, got his hand on it and didn't foul. So Ecke and Union will jump center stage, and Ecke, like he did to start this ball game, wins the tap. We play 4 minutes of OT. Each coach will get 1 timeout to use. And It gets to the point where whoever scores first. Ecky threw that one away. Tried to hit Collins. Collins wasn't ready for it. And so now the pendulum has turned to the white and black of Irving High, who will hold it. And you don't see an official counting the time unless a defender gets close.
The corners are spread about as wide as you can. Radford's open in one corner and Union in the other corner.
And if Nimitz doesn't come out to force the issue, they will not call the 5 seconds. Now they move it a little bit. Stokes works around Ecky. It falls, but it's a charge. Let's see who calls it. Or does it count? It is a blocking foul on Ecky. So Stokes goes to the line. Biggest basket of the night for Stokes. Oh, it's not a, yeah, it was against Ecky. He kind of held up the right arm a little bit, John.
He's disappointed in himself. That is his second foul. Not happy at all about his play on Stokes.
Again, Stokes is such a bruiser when he takes it to the hole.
He's done well from the line.
Yeah, he's got a soft shot for a big man. He can put his team up by 3. More importantly, swing the pressure back to the Vikings. I mean, they've already got the 2-point lead. And Coach Perry tells both Radford and Garcia to back off.
Come this way, please.
Yes, walk this way. Well, misses the free throw. Still a 2-point lead for the Tigers in overtime. Nimitz and Irving, 2017, right here on ICTN. Ecky pulls up the dribble. Collins, double team, forced that one. Chavarria can't rebound. Garcia does. And Garcia waits for someone to give it to, and that is Stokes.
Big rebound, big rebound.
Huge miss. And now Irving will pull it out again. Nelson, remember what I said earlier. Just take it down the paint. Throw up a little 10-foot jump shot. It's been working for you. Union, high post. Garcia, they're all out of high post. Nelson kicks it back to Stokes. Nimitz tries to double team. Garcia doesn't want to shoot it. Nelson. Oh, that would have been a killer, but Union rebounds, and that was huge. Huge rebound. Perry said, kick it back out again, guys. So they work on the clock some more. Collins guarding Stokes. Bounce pass. Garcia tipped by Ecky. Somehow the ball lands in the hands of Stokes. Power move. Fouled by Johnson. And he'll go back to the line. Boy, Ecky got his hand in there and blocked that one shot, but his teammates couldn't come to his aid and get the rebound. And Stokes, give him credit. Blue-collar effort underneath the glass.
Yeah, he's come alive in this second half. First a hard pickup off of the floor, then trying to muscle your way up. And this to make it a 2-possession game.
Just think the latter stages of regulation. Nimitz had the same opportunity and couldn't get it done. Stokes can't either, but you're forcing Nimitz to shoot a 3-pointer, and I don't see anybody out there, maybe Chavarria early on when he was hot, that has shown me they can do it. Johnson into Ecky. Ecky jump step, missed the little short one, reaches in, and the jump ball and possession arrow will go to Irving since Nimitz won the tip to start the overtime. So now if you're Irving, you're in the driver's seat. Up by 3, you've got the ball. Stokes working against Collins. Oh, there's a lot of room in the paint. Kicks it. Garcia holds on to it. Nelson. Nelson double team, bounce pass. Back to Stokes, they're just playing keep away. playing hot potato.
If it's on Hopkins, he's fouled out.
No.
Oh.
I think it's 3 seconds in the lane on Union.
It is. It's a 3-second call.
Away from the ball, Union was setting up shop underneath the basket.
I certainly wasn't looking at it, but the other official was, so
Well,
he spotted it.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
And there are eyes everywhere. Boy, what a change of events there. Nimitz needing to score. Still early enough, they can score 2. They just need to get some points on the board. Collins. Oh, it didn't even look good. And a foul against Nimitz.
Now if it's on Ecke, that's his 3rd. Now all the way down at the other end, and still a chance to make it a 2-possession game.
I think the problem for Nimitz is the fact that their outside shooting has been exposed the longer during the game you get. And now Garcia will go to the line. He will shoot 2. And he banks that one in off the rim. It's now a 4-point lead. Boy, free throw here would really tighten the screws against Irving, and it does. Garcia, 2 clutch free throws. About a half a minute to go. Chavaria's got to take the 3, and it goes in and out. Comes back to Hopkins in the corner. Chavaria again. Back iron. Union and Radford fight for it.
Get rid of it.
Radford picks it up. That's double dribble.
Get rid of it.
Radford lost the handle and picked it back up. Gives the ball back to Nimitz. Vikings have got to score quickly. Collins, someone's got to shoot the ball. You got to get it to somebody. Chavaria's been taking all the shots. Pulls back for 3. Back iron and a foul away from the action.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't
Foul.
let him take the 3. It's not going to kill you. Let him have the 3, anything beyond the arc. And that is the 5th. The foul is on Romeo Radford, and he's gone.
Well, Irving has done all they can to keep Nimitz in this game.
It's 3 shots here.
They fouled Chavaria to end the second quarter on a 3-point attempt. And he ended up making 2 out of those 3. And now he goes to the line to shoot 3 more with 10 seconds to go. And if I'm Irving, well, they got to leave somebody down there to try to rebound. Ooh, no, doesn't count. Does not count.
They wanted to get in.
Williams.
Yeah, Bailey Williams in now.
Well, they had to. They were a man short. So it's not like they had to wait until the free throw because Romeo had fouled out and they needed to get Williams in there. Scorekeeper asked for a clarification, and now Chavaria, who made that free throw. It's like a kicker in football. You make it, they ice you, you got to do it again, except Chavaria's got to do it 3 times in a row. Nimitz is going to look back at this game, John, if they do lose, at all the missed opportunities. But that happens a lot on practically every close game, right? You kind of overanalyze what happened and what transpired.
I mean, who would have thought overtime at the end of the 3rd, but here we are.
Made that, and Donaldson uses his last timeout, so it's a 3-point game. So if you're Nimitz, you foul right off the bat. You hope they miss them both, and 10 seconds is plenty of time to launch a 3 to send it in double overtime. Let's look at the foul, John.
On the way up, Chavaria, just a gentle push as he falls down. I mean, he really goes down on his own, and then here's Garcia
And it was
on
called,
the rebound, but then it was way.
It was called way on the other side.
Yeah, on the other side. Who was the first to say, these don't look like 1 and 15 teams?
Well, that was me, wasn't it?
1 and 7 against 0 and 8. And what a difference it is tonight in the 20-point win by the Tigers, the first meeting. So the jockey in the situation, who's on who. Let's see, Chavary is going to go to Eki to midcourt.
Well, Irving has one timeout to use. And I can guarantee you, if the official gets to, 3 seconds and that ball hasn't left the hands of the inbound player, Perry's going to be asking for another.
Who do they want to inbound? Stokes it's going to be. That's 6'1". The sophomore will inbound. And then the two closest players to him is Nelson and Garcia.
The starters are in for Irving.
Right.
Stokes looking for someone. And Collins, he fouls Union. They only used 1 second. And now Union will go to the line. All he has to do is make one. He's 1 out of 4 tonight. He just has to make one of these two. And I would dare say it's pretty much over.
Came in averaging 10 a game.
Door's still open. It's like making that putt to win it all, isn't it?
6-footer. Tournament on the line. No break, just straight in.
Missed this one, folks. And we're going to say, hold on. He does. Here we go. Who's going to take it? Is it going to be Chavaria? It's going to be for the tie. Chavaria pulls back. Missed it. Ball's loose.
Who's it on?
And it's going to be against Eki. He just wrapped him up. That's ball game with 1 second to go. Stokes should go to the free throw line. Irving fans finally, with like 1/10 of a second on the clock, can finally do the, ha ha, hey, hey, goodbye song. But it's not that both teams really gave each other the opportunity to win this game.
Oh, no, I mean, the Vikings just 2 points in this overtime.
Stokes, that's it. Boy, Stokes has made a living at the free throw line. But it's now 4. Doesn't matter what he does here. It's 5. And that's going to do it. 54-49, our final score in overtime. What a fun game to do. John Nelson's going to talk to the winning coach of Irving High School. We'll have some highlights and some stats and wrap this thing up here momentarily. Stick around. Well, what a fun game tonight. That's what happens when these two teams meet. We go to overtime, and that's some extra work for both the coaches, including the winning coach, Steve Perry. John Nelson is with him right now.
In overtime, the Irving Tigers prevailed 52-49, and Coach Perry, this had about everything. I don't know where to begin. First of all, in regulation, and then in the 4-minute overtime.
Anytime these two teams get together, this is what you expect. Coach Donaldson, heck of a coach. The Nimitz kids play hard. You can throw the records out. This is for bragging rights, and the city kids are going to play hard.
You really came out and played some nice defense in the second half.
You know what? We told them at halftime, that's what we had to do. It was a tale of 2 games. They wanted to slow it down, move the ball, take time off the clock with the possession, get it inside. We needed to speed them up to be effective. Our kids responded to that.
Garcia and Stokes with some nice rebounds in overtime.
You know what? Especially those last 2 free throws by Stokes. I believe, he went for maybe double-double or, 20 points. But we talked about knocking down your free throws, in pregame, and he stepped up. And, Angel gave us a big boost on the board.
Coach, you beat the Vikings twice this year. How does this bode for the rest of the district season?
Hey, we're just going one game at a time. First time around, we thought we left a couple games on the floor that we could have got. We're just going one game at a time, and trying to beat who's in front of us.
It was hard earned. I bet it seems like you played for 3 hours.
Well, I think I lost a little water weight. How about that?
Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, the Tigers win it in overtime, 54-49. They take both games from the Vikings this year. Rob?
That they do, John. Thank you very much. Boy, a game that had a lot of defense in it, particularly toward the end. We really didn't get a stretch of the ball game where one team really just took off and got the hot hand. But there were some great plays in this ball game. And you got to start with Destin Ecke, the 6'6 junior for Nimitz. This guy, he's a force inside, and he seemed to have the Tigers' number early on there with the three-point play. And then with the jam, getting behind Williams on the fast break. And a nice little feed here by Sherman. Look right there, the no-look in the paint. And it seemed like they had their numbers inside, but Stokes and company come back strong. Stokes, who made a living at the free throw line, also hit a couple of three-pointers, one there. And then in overtime, a three-point play that pretty much set the tone of this ball game, driving to the hoop. And then they just let their defense and their free throws do the talking from there on out. And so, the bottom line is Irving wins it in OT. The scoring, Ecke had 20. Chavaria 16. Boy, he put up a lot of threes toward the end, but just couldn't make them fall. Sherman, Hopkins, and Collins are other scores. Kobe Stokes, boy, what a great game. He was the leading scorer the last time these two teams played. 23 tonight. Nelson had 10. Williams, Union, Garcia, and Radford, the other scorers. And, Union came in as a leading scorer in the last 3 ball games. But it's Stokes. Stokes just seems to take it another notch, another level when he plays the crosstown rival Nimitz Vikings. Well, again, our final score, Irving wins it in overtime, 54-49. For John Nelson and the entire ICTN crew, Rob Willman with you, bidding you a pleasant good evening.